Damn okay, presented by Under Armour.
Damn. I'm okay. Damn. I'm okay. Yeah, no, I mean, yes, I'm okay. The legal gambleizing. Oh, baby. I am Chris Simms. I'm okay. Damn. Okay.
So in our damn okay, we got some AFC playoff hopefuls that we're like, damn okay. Staying in it.
I know. I got to keep worrying about kissing your feet
like
here.
Neither of us want that.
I know.
Like, I don't know why you said that, because that was bad for you and me. Like, I don't want that.
Well, we're going to keep your shoes on. It can't be that bad if I kiss your shoes. Really? Is it that bad for you?
I'm wearing my Currys today. So
it's still worse for me.
What shoes would you want me to wear if you do have to kiss my feet if the Steelers make the playoffs?
Currys. I want you to wear the Currys, Under Armour Currys. Yes,
right,
of course.
I'll do that. I'll keep these clean for you.
Please do.
Because you said that they're dead. The Steelers are dead. Big Ben is done.
They're still not going to make it. But they're scaring the shit out of me.
Damn okay, Steelers beating the Titans 19-13. Damn okay, TJ Watt has a franchise record 17.5 sacks. Now,
amazing.
We I don't know that we totally poo-pooed the idea of him winning Defensive Player of the Year last week when we were talking about Micah Parsons and Garrett as well.
Right.
Myles Garrett. I mean, 17.5 sacks. I kind of dismissed him because I thought he was banged up, and I didn't know how much we'd see him.
Right.
And he didn't finish this game either, but he seems to be playing every week. I don't know. Maybe he could still get there.
I mean, if he goes on some run here the last 3 weeks and breaks the NFL sack record, I wouldn't be shocked. Again, no disrespect to TJ Watt, obviously one of the best defensive players in the football. I don't think he's been as disruptive on a play-by-play basis as Myles Garrett and Micah Parsons all year. Still really good. And again, I'm not trying to take anything away from it. I just think I would give them the edge. Either way, Watt's amazing. You know, they couldn't win a lot of these games without him, and Minkah Fitzpatrick and some of the great tackles he made yesterday and some big situations where I went, oh my gosh, this running back's about to break it. Oh my, what a tackle. Like it was going to be a 50-yard gain, and he brought him down to make it a 10-yard gain, you know, with just him on an island, one-on-one versus the running back. You know, they're the stars of the show there for the Pittsburgh defense. This is other than the Saints-Bucks, this is a shocker of the day to me. The shocker of the day. The shocker of the day, and the one that pisses me off, too, because I made Titans my best bet.
Oh.
I did. They dominated the football game.
Well, hold on. So, let's take a look at that. So, you were right. You were right. Let's look at the numbers. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see Titans
it was the right pick,
Steelers.
But this is the NFL. Why it's scary.
354 total yards for the Titans.
Yep.
183 for the Steelers.
Yep.
Time of possession, 39 minutes for the Titans, 20 for the Steelers. But that last category, 4 turnovers for the Titans, none for the Steelers. And you can also add a few calls that did go the Steelers' way.
Definitely.
So I think you were right. I'm going to give you the win.
Well, thanks. All right, Pete, change that. I got my best bet right. All right. Yep. That's it. That's all it is. That's all you got to do.
But they did. I mean, if you looked at all those numbers, except for the turnovers, you'd be like, how did the Titans? They rushed for over 200 yards.
Well, this is where I wanted to get into. There's a difference to me in again, how those games play. Like this to me was a Pittsburgh team that was physically overwhelmed. They were being overwhelmed. And hey, there's one time where you go, okay, wait, you're losing the game, but wow, your defense is great, and you guys you hit and you make all these plays, and this is what you are. But that's not what the Steelers are this year. That's not. This is not within their normal realm. Nor were any of those plays where I go, oh wow, well, I mean, it was only a matter of time they fumbled the way they were hitting these guys and doing that. You know, hey, 10-0, third down. Throw the ball to Ferkser over the middle. He turns up. It's going to be 1st and 10 around midfield. You know, gets hit by 2 guys, fumbles the ball. That leads to 3 points for the Steelers. Okay, you got that. You know, the Titans get a field goal later on in the football game. I mean, the Steelers only had 1 drive the whole game. I mean, it was 1. You know, it was a touchdown drive in the third quarter, and that was even ugly. You know, got a 3rd and 1 throw to Freiermuth where they called some bullshit unnecessary roughness, like, you know, you tackled him too hard penalty. Stupid. You know, that's where I'm sick of that shit. But, you know, again, between that, McGrath fumbling was the tip pass interception, right? That was a 3rd and 1, a pick play. You know, hey, that was a great play by Taco Charlton, realizing where they're vulnerable as a defense and getting his hand up. I don't want to take that away from him. But then a fumbled snap on the next series, yes. I mean, the Titans right now have a little bit of like that disease we've talked about, right? We've seen teams catch this disease all year long. They were lucky and caught the Rams when they were in the middle of the disease and their outbreak of the plague, right? I mean, we've seen the 49ers have the outbreak of the plague. The Chiefs have had, I think, multiple outbreaks of the plague this year, of the turnover plague. The Patriots had it earlier this year. Everybody seems to go through it at some point. The Titans were the one team that seemed Teflon Don to it, and here we are the last 3 weeks. And what's the stat, Pete? Like 13 turnovers in the last 3 games. And, of course, that's why they've lost 3 games in a row. I mean, I don't give a shit who you are. You turn the ball over 13 times in 3 games, you're going to lose 3 of them, if not 2 of them, and have a shamrock up your ass to win the other one. Just not good football. It's not what Vrabel and company do.
Yeah, and
3 out of 4 they lost. Sorry.
So they used to be a big play team. You
Yeah.
wouldn't think of them that
Right.
way, but Derrick Henry would break big runs. A.J. Brown could break some big plays.
Yep.
I mean, Julio is not Julio now.
No, Julio is not Julio. Now, he got hurt trying to recover the fumble at one point and seemed like that got him hurt. You're right. They need A.J. Brown back big time. They really do. That's the issue right now, Ahmed. I'm glad you bring it up because they do. Again, they can win this way, but as you see, there's little room for error. And it's a reason they've lost 3 out of 4. But guys like A.J. Brown, Julio, when they're healthy, and A.J. he's in a different class than Julio at this point of his career. But they, like we talk about, they take pressure off your team. Because now we don't always have to go 12 plays, 80 yards. Now it's 4 plays, 80 yards because he caught a 50-yard post down the middle, right? And they're certainly missing that aspect of the game. They need A.J. Brown back in a hurry.
Yeah, because if they don't get him back and if they don't get Derrick Henry back, I don't want him in the playoffs.
You don't want him
sorry.
in the playoffs?
I love, and we're big Ryan Tannehill guys, and he hasn't had weapons, and so I don't put this all on him. But I don't know. They're not exciting enough for me.
Well, no,
they're 9 and
boring.
5, and honestly, they're not a lock.
No, they're not a lock. They're old school. They're not exciting. You're right about that. It's going to be
without those guys.
Without those guys, their defense. They're let's play. Execution football on the offensive side of the ball. It's not going to be big plays, but A.J. Brown certainly brings that aspect, and we'll see. But you're right. They're not out of the woods. Pittsburgh, again, to me, this is where we got to give, the man, the myth, the legend some credit here.
Mike Tomlin?
Yes.
So
Come
get
on.
this. So
What?
Pittsburgh has had a losing record through 14 games under Mike Tomlin just once in 15 years.
It's insane. I don't know what else to tell everybody. They're 7-6 because of 7-6-1 for one reason, because of Mike Tomlin, and the fact that they just continue to hit, believe. Oh, we're down 29-0 to the Vikings. We're not going to give up. That's the culture your head coach has put forward. They have no business. They have arguably the worst quarterback in football. Okay, I'm just going to say it. He's top 3 or 4 worst in football. All right, I mean the defense is thin with limited playmakers. Mm-hmm. There's not a lot of depth. The offensive line's not good, and therefore that negates Najee Harris. And because you don't have a good quarterback and you're not the greatest pass protecting group, the other positive thing you have is these 2 freaky receivers. But because the offensive line's not great and you got not a good quarterback, they can't really take advantage of that. They are 7-6-1 for one reason: Mike Tomlin. Thank you, mic drop. Next game.
Per Lord Reeves said the Steelers have led for 19% of their offensive snaps this season. Only teams worse, the Lions, Jets, and Jaguars. So they are not leading with the ball many times in the game, but somehow they keep winning. But the thing that may keep them out of the playoffs and may prevent you from having to kiss my feet is that tie against my Detroit Lions. What if it comes down to that?
Your Lions?
Hey, there we go. Save both of us there. It could happen. We'll have to see. But if,
you don't really want me to kiss your feet, though.
I think that would be
a great picture for your social media.
I don't think I want that.
I know. I don't think I want to either. I mean, we've
committed to it though, and we have to do it.
Well, we have to. Of course, they want it.
The homies will want it. Neither of us will.
He washes his feet more than once a day, unlike his teeth. So it's really not that bad.
You're right. Kissing my feet is actually the cleanest part. Okay, so Steelers get the win. Congratulations to them. The Bengals staying in it. The Bengals are actually now the 4 seed in the AFC at 8-6. They get the win. Wasn't easy against the Denver Broncos. We're going to give damn okay to Jermaine Pratt.
Yeah, good player.
15 tackles, half a sack, a quarterback hit in a defensive slug-it-out game where the Bengals needed to make one big play, and Tyler Boyd and Joe Burrow helped make that play, and that was enough.
That's exactly right. I mean, defense played well. Had a clutch turnover at the end. That was great by Khalid Kareem, stripping the ball out of Drew Lock, which was one of the crazier plays in football yesterday. Locke messing that up. But yes, ugly victory on the road in Denver. Denver's not an easy place to play. Pratt's a really good football player. I'm not going to sit here and tell you he's like a star, but he's a guy that you sit here and go, hey, he could be the middle linebacker for the Bengals for a 10-year span. He can stay on the field all 3 downs, does a little bit of everything. You've heard me say their defense has got talent. I like the Bengals. I do. And here was the key to the game, in my opinion. It was 6-3. It was 3-3. Excuse me. End of the first half. Vic Fangio, with about 14 seconds, decides to kick a 51-yard field goal at 3-3. It missed, right? McManus misses it. Burrow then throws a big completion down the middle with 9 seconds left to, I believe it was Boyd, to get them to the 41-yard line, and they kicked a 58-yard field goal to go into the half up by 3. So that was a 6-point swing. That was a big moment of the football game, where you went, oh, man, they're going to go into the half down 3. All of a sudden you go in up 3, and they got the ball second, I believe, in the third quarter, and then went down and made another ugly field goal drive. But that was a gritty win and a big situation for them. Both teams were desperate, and give them a lot of credit. You're right. The answer, though, that was the yo shit play that we just talked about with the Lions. Play action to the right, Boyd is kind of in the bunch to the right, and he acts like, hey, I'm blocking down and helping the run play, and then he kind of wheels his way out the backside there, and he was wide open and made a nice play on Justin Simmons to make sure he scored for the 56-yarder.
Pretty easy for Burrow, but give him credit, his league-leading 12th passing touchdown of 30 or more yards this season. No other quarterback in the NFL has more than 7, and he has 12.
Wow, that's impressive. That's impressive.
And they're not like I don't think it had to be 30 yards in the air.
No, it doesn't.
But most of them are pretty deep throws. Like Jamar Chase has a bunch of those. And yeah.
Agreed. There's only one I can think of that's not a deep throw. It's the slant route to Jamar Chase against Baltimore, where he broke like 4 tackles and then ran for 60 yards. The rest of them, that's where I love Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, to me, is one of the best watches in football. He's aggressive. He's athletic as hell. And, he doesn't have as strong arm as Herbert or Mahomes or all those. But still a very strong arm, let alone has all the other clubs in the bag to make all the other throws. Hey, that was a tough game for them yesterday. That Broncos defense, they're a pain in the butt. And they can defend the pass and give you some issues there. And the Bengals couldn't get the run game going either. But that was a gritty, tough win for them. And you know me, I'm rooting for the Bengals to get in the playoffs big time. They're one of the teams I want. Like you said, you don't want to see the Titans in. I don't want to see the Chargers in, right? I don't want to see the Chargers. Sorry.
Your guy, Justin Herbert?
I love Herbert. It's not personal to him. I just don't think they're like, to me,
they don't deserve it.
To me, I don't know. There's something about them that doesn't lend itself to playoff quality for me.
You don't like the 4th down thing.
That's definitely part of it. I'm not going to lie. I definitely want to see the analytics just fall on its face and shut the up. Yes, definitely do.
The Bengals, Trey Hendrickson did it again. Had a half a sack that actually snapped his 9-game streak with at least 1 sack. He has been a great signing by them. Had 5 quarterback pressures, did Hendrickson, and he drew a couple of holding calls against Garrett Bowles, one of the better offensive linemen in football. So he continues to have a great year. Final thing on the Broncos, and it's clear, and hopefully Teddy Bridgewater can come back. That was a scary injury.
That was scary.
With him.
Early
BJ
signs
Hill,
okay. Yeah, good. B.J. Hill kind of drove him into the ground.
It was more of the contact with the ground because he was in the air.
Exactly right. It's just the extra force of the big body kind of driving him down there.
They are clearly better with him than Drew Lock, and Drew Lock goes in the game and not able to do anything and actually had a fumble in this game.
That was huge.
Right? Like you mentioned before.
Yeah.
And so it's clear at this point that the team is better with Teddy Bridgewater.
No doubt about it. Lock just, every time he's gotten a chance this year, and again, this is, hey, where I certainly was wrong before the season saying play Drew Lock, and they knew better. He just, anytime he's gotten a chance, he does something stupid. And that was kind of his MO a little bit in college that people were scared of. But yes, hey, nice jump ball throw to Tim Patrick to score a touchdown to put them up 10-9. Got some physical tools, but, just every game he's got a chance. It's a stupid turnover and a big moment and just not necessary a lot of the times there. And yesterday, yeah, they're down there in at least field goal range, maybe going to score a touchdown. What was that play? He fumbled on I want to say it was a second down maybe. It might have been first down. But yeah, that was a huge moment. Nonetheless, like
2nd and 9.
it would have gave you a chance to 2nd and 9, right? You know, with how much time left in the fourth quarter? 4 minutes? 10:39. See, so they could have kicked a field goal there, still been 15-13. Who knows what happens? But yeah, that was a big play, and that's going to make Drew Lock be a backup until he gets a chance again to prove he can literally go out there and be a starter.
But honestly, can you even be a backup like that? Don't you want your backup to be a guy who doesn't turn the ball over?
Yeah, you do. You want that guy to come in and, yeah, you're right, be able to manage the offense, not make big mistakes. Yeah, that's where it's going to be tough for him because he has starting quarterback talent and potential, but has a little bit of this gunslinger attitude that lends itself to really stupid turnovers, and that's not good for him.
You know who I think has a superstar potential?
What's that?
Damn okay to Josh Allen. I think he's going to be pretty good in this league. The Buffalo Bills
I've heard.
ride his right arm once again, beating the Carolina Panthers, who were kickerless because their kicker got hurt in pregame warmups.
Yeah.
I don't think it hurt him that badly. 31-14 was the final score in a game where the Bills did run the ball a little bit. 27 rushing attempts, 119 yards. Devin Singletary had 22 carries. Is this the dawn of a new era with the Buffalo Bills?
I mean, I hope so. You know, I really do. You know, again, like a lot of it was the second half of the game too, when they kind of had control. Like, I don't know, is it still going to be a part of it if the game was in the mix and we're still like in a competitive game? That's what I don't know about the Buffalo Bills. That's what I really don't know. Listen. The game, 31-14, was scary yesterday. It was scary. And I'm going to push back on you. The field goal kicker thing really did bother them. They had chances to kick field goals and couldn't do it because they had nobody available, to where the game was in the balance early. I mean, they went down, I want to say, one of the first drive of the game.
Their first drive.
They got down to the 8-yard line. They had a 4th and 9, and they couldn't do it. So they had to go for it. You know, again, their defense was playing good enough to where Josh Allen and company, again, they didn't score a touchdown until 14 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yeah.
So if
they could have gotten off to that early lead, 3 points there, maybe
kind of made it ugly.
Sure.
Like, it kind of had a look early on where I was like, man, this seems like it's the Jacksonville game all over again. It's just like, man, Buffalo can't get anything going. It's too much Josh Allen. You know, the defense is good, but Panthers are moving the ball a little bit. You know, they got some good design quarterback runs and a few little screen passes and reverse that are creative. But I do think that affected the game. And then the other thing too is, you know, I believe the game was 7-0, and I don't understand it, but like, no, this was still 0-0 after they don't get the 4th and 9. I'm sorry, they get the ball back. And they go for it on 4th and 1 at midfield. And, like, that sets off Allen and company to then go up to a 7-0 lead. And I think that was the play where Cam Newton got called out by Matt Rule a little bit because they had, like, a read option run on. They had the play. I don't know why he didn't hand it off. And he threw the ball to Robbie Anderson out on the flat, and they batted it down, and of course Buffalo got the ball. But again, I guess what I'm trying to say here is Buffalo is not impressive to me. They're not. They're good. They're just not great. They're going to be a pain in the ass in the playoffs because they're really well coached on the defensive side of the ball, and they're going to have a great game plan there. But I don't think they're like overly talented on the defensive side of the ball. And then they have Josh Allen, so they're going to be a pain in the ass to get them out of the playoffs. But I don't know if they're a great team. I'm not putting great team label on them.
So here's the only reason, and they're the 7th seed right now in the AFC. Here's the reason why I think maybe they're better than what we've seen so far. And of course, you're just watching the play on the field, and you're doing the eye test, which I think is smart. But they are, in their 8 wins this season, they have won all of them by 15 or more points. So they've won eventually in a blowout. Maybe that came late.
Right.
So they've won their games in blowout fashion. And the games they've lost, I mean, they're 0-5 in one-possession games this season.
See, that's
they're
scary
losing.
to me.
So you can see that as being scary. They haven't been able to pull out the close ones. You can also see that as like, wow, the games they win, they're blowing teams out.
They do.
They haven't been lucky to win any of those games at the end.
They feast on the poor. They dominate the poor usually at some point. Yes. But it's like ugly domination.
Sure.
Like, to me, this was not like, oh wow, this is the dominant. Like, this is Super Bowl caliber domination. You know, it's what I kind of fought against early in the year when they blew out the Dolphins and blew out Washington. I want to go, if we all really went back and watched the game together, I'd go, look, it really wasn't that dominant. Again, their defense creates a lot of chaos. They're really well coached by McDermott and Leslie Frazier. They're one of the more creative, well-coached defenses in football. And then, Josh Allen is, like we've discussed all the time, he's the freakiest player in football maybe. So he makes a splash of plays, but I don't know if that's conducive to beating the upper echelon or the upper class of the NFL when it comes playoff time. And that's what scares me about the Bills, I guess.
Pete, who are their best wins this year, you're saying? Chiefs, Week 5. Dolphins in Week 8.
Yeah.
Saints, Week 12.
Right. Okay. So Saints in Week 12 with Trevor Siemian. Again, Dolphins in Week 8. I'd like to remind everybody, remember that was the game. It was 3-3 or something, and the Dolphins were there in field goal territory to go up 6-3 at half, and Tua threw an interception. It wasn't pretty again. You know what I mean? So the Chiefs, they had the plague at that time there when they played them. That wasn't the Chiefs team that we see now. So yeah, that was a great victory then. But that was when the Chiefs were below 500 or hovering around 500. So they weren't playing their best football. That's why I just got questions about Buffalo. I'm rooting for him. I love McDermott. I'm in the McDermott fanboy club, and other than Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen might be my favorite player in football. He's certainly the guy I root for most aggressively for because I hate the haters on him at all times. But, yeah, I got questions about their team in general. And, it still bothers me here, in Week 15.
They control their own destiny. They could win the AFC East with wins in their final 3 games versus the Patriots, Falcons, and the Jets to end it out. Carolina, one final thing on them. Is Matt Rule in trouble?
I hope he's not. I don't want him to be. I don't think he deserves to be. I don't. They've had one issue so far in his career there. One, in my opinion. Quarterback. Period. Yeah, they f***ed up by bringing Teddy Bridgewater in there. Probably because they got sold by it to somebody of the Saints. Joe Brady worked with somebody, sold them hard on it. He's the guy. So that didn't work. And then here this year, hey, they went for Sam Darnold, what they believed in. And again, I can't be one to second guess too hard. I thought they'd be able to win. But also, I'm wrong. It's the quarterback and the offensive coordinator. It's definitely. Because they fired Joe Brady 2 weeks ago. But that's, to me, the roster is really good. They've turned around the roster in a big-time way in a short period of time. Again, I was the only one before the season saying, watch out for the Panthers. Now the Panthers are 5-9, and everyone's going to go, oh, they're not playing well. We got to fire them. Were people expecting that? Again, that's where I just want to go, come on, we can't have it both ways all the time here.
I agree with that, too. I agree with that. The expectations were not that this team was going to be a playoff team.
But they started off 3-0, and now everybody's expectations change. And I think, hey, it's worse than I thought, certainly. I'm not going to lie. I thought the offense would be more explosive and better. But, I also know, and anybody can go back to listen to my podcasts in week 3, 4, 5, or 6, I kept going, yeah, they're playing good, but man, I don't like their offense. Man, there's defensive players running routes for their wide receivers. Man, everybody seems to know where they're throwing the ball. Man, this is the 6th time I've seen this play in the second quarter of the game. That's when I start to go, oh, this isn't good. So they've had issues there, and hopefully they can get that corrected. But I don't think Matt Rule deserves to be on the hot seat. I don't.
They have a defense that could be playoff caliber here this year or in the years to come, and I think the Indianapolis Colts have a defense certainly that is playoff caliber right now.
Right.
Our damn okay goes to one player on that defensive side. Neil watches PFT, says, damn okay, Darius Leonard played like a beast all game at the same time. Self-scout thyself. Carl Cheffers. One of the worst officiated games I've ever seen. The Colts got penalized for nothing on defense. Multiple helmet-to-helmet hits. None called at all. So a little dig at the officials there.
Well, the officiating is as worst as I can ever remember in the NFL. It's all over the place. I'm not going to even let off on it. I don't care.
It's not getting any better.
I'm going to have to see some of these people that are ahead of the officiating department in the next year in person.
What are you going to say to them?
I don't know. They're probably not going to like me and give me the cold shoulder, but I'm just going to be like, what? I don't know what you want me to say. The results are the results. It's all over the place. The referees are dictating the wins and losses of games way too much. Just they are. Too many subjective, oh, that was unnecessary roughness. That wasn't. He grazed him with the head. Oh, that's unnecessary roughness. They grazed him with the head the next play. That wasn't. That play before was exactly like this one, but I threw the flag on that one and didn't throw it on this one. I don't know why. Because I was chicken to throw it twice in a row, or because I don't know what I'm doing out there. That's what it seems like. I'm sorry. And it bothers bothers me.
You know, and Darius Leonard's like, hey, this is my damn okay. Why are you talking about the officials?
Seriously.
So we will talk about the Saturday game. Colts, big win over the Patriots. And it was Darius Leonard making a key pick in that game. Mac Jones was rattled early on, it looked like.
Definitely.
And the Colts used their running game and Jonathan Taylor. I mean, you see that formula, defense, running game, a quarterback who, he wasn't good in this game, Carson Wentz, but he can win you some games if need be.
Definitely.
You're like, man, the Colts are a good team.
The Colts are a good team. That's why I want the Colts in the playoffs. To me, the Colts are one of those teams where if we sat here and a month from now, and we're like, hey, the Colts are in the AFC Championship game, I'd go, that's not crazy. They got one of the best offensive lines in football. They got a top 10-ish defense. They have some difference makers up front. They lack a big-time pass rusher. That's probably the only thing that really is the negative about their team. But, yes, they're dangerous. And you could see they match up with the good teams in football. There's no team that just physically outclasses them. I think that's the biggest thing. And, yeah, that was the first time, hey, going to Colts, going to Indianapolis when they're a good football team, it's an experience. That's a great stadium. The fans are loud. They're a defense built on speed, so it's loud. You're on
really
field
loud,
turf,
yeah.
And they're flying around, and it just seems more chaotic than other games. And yeah, Mac Jones certainly played his worst game, I think, as a rookie, or at least the worst one he's played since the Saints game early in the year.
But was able to still bring him back.
Hung around. The Patriots are good. Hey, I was a little surprised that the Patriots front got pushed around the way it did. That was a little surprising to me. There's no doubt. And, yeah, some of the mistakes by Mac, both interceptions were bad, especially the one down close to the end zone. That certainly cost them points. And, yeah, it could have been a different football game if they had scored a field goal or a touchdown in that opportunity. But the Colts are for real. They really are. And I think they're one of the better teams in the AFC, and I want to see them in the playoffs.
Well, it was surprising because Bill Belichick oftentimes will take away what you do best.
Yes,
and the fact that they couldn't take away Jonathan Taylor, 170 yards, a touchdown, iced the game with that 67-yarder. That's impressive.
It is impressive. Their O-line doesn't matter. They're one of those kind of O-lines. We're just better than you, so what? But, it's one of two times the whole year, that and the Titans game, where I went, damn. I mean, Godshaw and Lawrence Guy, they got pushed around a little bit. I mean, I was shocked. Jawan Bentley got hurt. That, I think, hurt them a little bit. But I can't lie. I was surprised by that outcome as well. But it's rare you see the Patriots make mistakes, lose games that way. And here's the other thing I thought that jumped out to me about the game. When you play the Patriots, I think what the Colts figured out to stop the run game at least was that you can't play, we're going to stay in our gap. And, listen, maybe to go to the two shot here so I can explain this a little bit.
Okay.
Like if this is, all right, here's the guard tackle gap, right? Here's the tackle, here's the guard. The ball's running this way. A lot of teams just, hey, okay, the ball's going there. Here's my gap. I'm still staying in my gap. I'm going to shuffle along and stay right in my gap. I'm going to stay right in my gap. Right, which is great. That's the way they're taught more times than not. But also at the same time, it allows the offensive line to go, hey, we're going to double this tackle, and then one of you is going to get to that guy who's kind of shuffling along at the gap 3 yards down the field, and you'll get him just as the running back's getting there, and we'll gash him for a big run. The end of the Bills game into this game, the Colts took what I have always learned, or the phrase I use is the shoot your gun policy.
Okay.
You see the gap. They're running your way. Don't sit there and wait. Run through the gap. More than likely, the running back, if that gap's big enough, is going to be running through there. Cause chaos. Mess up their blocking where, oh, wait, we were going to double to go to that guy. Oh, wait, he's running by me. Oh, no. And now the whole run scheme is messed up. My earpiece.
You lost your earpiece. Yeah. You've caused chaos with yourself right now.
But that's, to me, one of the things I saw the Colts do in this game. They shot their gun. They shot gaps.
Yeah.
And that really ruined the run scheme of the New England Patriots.
Yeah, causing chaos. That can happen. Now you're trying to put your IFB back in, and you got it immediately back in.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Colts. Patriots had won, how many in a row?
8, 7, something like that.
Something like that. So yeah, they're bound to have one. This is a tough environment.
I did not think they would win. I picked the Colts.
So
I'm not trying to pat myself in the back, but just, again, the Colts are good. The Colts are really good, and that was, I think, an environment that Mac Jones and the Patriots, this team, I'm sitting here looking at their schedule. They haven't been in that kind of environment. They really haven't the whole year. You look at their games on the road, at Buffalo, maybe a little bit, okay? Other than that, at Atlanta, at Carolina, the Chargers, at Houston, come on, at the New York Jets, none of those are being looked at as going, oh, whoa, that's a tough road game right there. So that was a different animal.
Colts, after a rough start to the season, now 8-6, 5 seed in the AFC.
And the Chiefs are back to the number 1 seed in the AFC.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.